Okay.
Hey everybody, I'm going to do a quick video on how to clean your bike. You don't really need a whole lot of tools. I'll tell you what I have here. This is a spray pump that I got at Ace Hardware with just some regular soap and water in there. I don't use this very often except if the bike is exceptionally dirty, like in the winter time you get a lot of grit on there, then I'll use this to spray it. If you get in the habit of wiping down your bike every time you ride, then you won't need to clean your bike as much. So some other good tools are some old t-shirts that you can cut up into rags, or baby wipes are good. And then this is chain lube. You want to make sure that you lube your chain when you're done. And then another handy thing to have is a soft bristled brush like you can get at Ace Hardware, or an old toothbrush. So when you throw out your toothbrush, keep them for cleaning your chain. So the first thing that we want to start with is actually cleaning the chain. And this is some Citrusol citrus. So what we want to do is run the chain backwards like this while I spray this into the chain. Get some citrus on there. And then I'm going to put some citrus in here, and I'm going to press this up into the chain. The reason for cleaning the chain first is the chain's going to get dirt on other parts of your bike. So you don't want to clean your bike and then clean your chain second, because now you're going to just get dirt on your clean bike. Okay, so I'm just going to run this through, getting in between the chain. You can also, if the rear derailleur cogs are especially dirty, you can get back there and kind of break the dirt up from there. You can even get in here like this. Okay, now we want to get all that citrus off of there, and this is where it can be helpful to use kind of a cleaner rag. So this one's clean, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of put my hand around the chain and run it through like this, so you can see the grease starts to come off. This video will also be helpful. It'll see how long it takes to clean a bike. Okay, so now the chain is nice and clean. Now, because I want to get into the back triangle, I'm actually going to I'm going to take off the back wheel. Normally, if the bike is on the cleaner side, then I wouldn't take off the back wheel, but because I want to get in there, I'm just going to pull this off. Okay, set that aside. We'll clean the rim too. So this is where I'm going to use the pump sprayer, and you don't really want a big, powerful garden hose. This will just help break up a lot of the dirt. So this puts pressure in there, and then you can just yeah. So now I'm just going to get in there and get rid of all that grime. And this is where the citrus is also really good. So you can either spray your rag or just spray right in there. So I'm going to do this back triangle first. So what I'm going to do is get in here, wipe down the frame, get all that gunk out of there, especially these tri-bikes that have a really tight opening right here. If you get in here, you can see how much dirt is in there. So we want to get in there as much as possible. Hey, Sean. Do a little bike cleaning.
Yeah, I see. You were taking a video. I didn't want to interrupt you.
We can make you a star of it if you want.
Oh no.
And so I'm getting in here too and just getting all this gunk out of the brakes. Shai, if you want, you can go in there swimming in there. You can just listen into what Hannah's saying, because you'll probably learn a bit. Okay, so anywhere there's like extra dirt, I'm just going to spray a little of the citrus on there. So I want to clean up this whole back triangle first, because then I'm going to put the wheel back on. Because with the wheel on, it's really difficult to get into these spots right here. And need to do like one of those baking shows where we actually have a clean bite, a second clean bite.
Yes.
This is the turkey when it's done.
And you picked a really dirty bike to clean.
Okay, so now this part is pretty well clean. I'm gonna go through and just finish this off here. So like on these spots here, you can really move the rag down and get in there. Like in here, it's kind of tricky, but if you bring this through like that, you can get in there a little bit deeper. Like right here is kind of a tricky spot. So if you move the rag like that, you can get in there. And then, as you see with the white frame, a lot of times it just gets dinged up. It's not actually dirty, but so again, when you get done riding on a regular basis, really one of the best things you can do is just take a clean rag and wipe down your entire frame as well as your rims, and that will keep your bike clean. And that only takes like, I don't know, 45 seconds to wipe down the whole frame. Frames often get really dirty right up in here because of the wheel that kicks mud up. So get a nice underneath there. Now, for the rim, what I'm going to do is just wipe down the rim, and then I'll just spin it like that. Keep going. And then every once in a while, it's good too just to do all the spokes. And then that way, you might find one of the spokes is loose, which will give you a tip that you need to take it into the bike shop. Okay, again, so I'm just wiping down the rim, and then I'm going to hit all the spokes. At the same time, I'm just checking the spoke tension. You know, you'll notice something if it's abnormally loose. It'll be very strange. You can get in on the inside of the forks. If I took this wheel off, I could really get in here, but this is a way to get in there as well. Okay, so now with the back wheel, what I'm going to do, let me come over here. A lot of times I like to lean up against something like this so I can just go pretty quickly around the rim. And then same thing, I'm going to quickly hit all the spokes. Flip it over, do the other side. Especially if you've been riding in the rain, you'll get a lot of the brake, I don't want to call it grease, but the brake wear, and it gets really black. And then you can get in here on the hub. So another good thing to do is to, every once in a while, get in between the cogs. And what you want to do is like flossing teeth. You want to take your rag and you want to go right in between there and go back and forth. So this will just get a lot of the grease that's in between all of those. And then when you look at it, it should be a little bit cleaner through there. Okay. So now I'm going to put the wheel back on. And then definitely you don't want to forget to re-lube the chain. So I usually try to make a habit of doing that as soon as I get the wheel back on. Okay, wheels on. I also like to get in here and clean the derailleur pulleys by So the derailleur pulleys are these guys here. What you can do is spin this backwards and lightly put just lightly grab there so you can get a lot of the gunk off the pulley. And then this one too, if I put my finger back here, you can get that out. Or you can put just a finger. Probably going to be easier if I switch gears to make. Okay, so now you can see how the rear derailleur pulley is longer. So now that opens up this one, so I can just lightly put my fingers back here and get all the gunk out that's on the derailleur pulley. Most people have a lot more on here than they realize, but when you look at it, it should be pretty clean rather than have a bunch of crap on it. Okay, so take a look at those. And then same time, you can also just clean your derailleur a bit. Get back here, I'm gonna get the crank set. Get my finger in there, like basically try to get all these crevices as much as possible. Okay, so now chain lube. You want to take your chain lube and just gonna drip some drops on there and then spin this backwards. You don't have to put a ton on. And then what you want to do is spin it again, and then it's a good idea to shift through all the gears because that'll also help lube up all the cog sets. Okay, once you're done, then what you want to do is take another rag. You want to keep the lube in the interior of the chain, but you don't necessarily need it on the outside. So just lightly pinch the outside and let the chain slide through your rag like that to take the lube off the outside. Nice and slow. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. So, quick clean of the bike. And then, like I said, get in the habit when you're done, every time you ride, either take some citrus sol in a rag and then just put a little on your rag, or just get some baby wipes. And then say you just got done riding, just take a quick hit of the entire frame, and it'll take you probably 45 seconds before you stick your bike away. And then every time you ride it, it'll be nice and clean. It's a little bit like that broken window theory. You know, the more dirty you let your bike get, the dirtier it gets. So if you keep it clean all the time, you're sort of more inspired to keep it clean. Now, last thing, when you put everything back together, make sure that, just as you're changing a flat tire, that your brakes are no longer rubbing and everything. You know, there's nothing that you messed up there. I think that's it.